All right, so we're going to start with taking a comfortable seat. You can roll the shoulders up and away from the ears. Keeping the chest lifted, we'll just drop the nose a little bit toward the floor. Softening the eyes now and starting to open the awareness of the inner body, the inner state. Just noticing what energies you can sense today. Maybe you can think of them in terms of the Ayurvedic energies. Do you feel that Vata energy, that breath energy, air, spaciousness, movement? And if so, where do you feel that Vata energy? What are its qualities? And then just tapping into the Pitta, fire energy. Do you feel heat in the body or heat in your surroundings? Pitta also has qualities of plasma, oiliness. Sort of a slow liquid kind of feel. And then tapping into the earth energy of Kapha, grounded, wet and cold, solid. Where do you sense that in the body or in your environment? And if one of these elements was harder to identify in your being, perhaps you can invite more of that energy from drawing from the environment with a focused intention, just to help balance out the other qualities. Lengthen out the breath now. Nice long inhales and nice long exhales. On your next inhale, slowly open the eyes, come back into space. Let's do a side bend. We'll slip the left hand down, right hand up and over. Just trying to find an ease in our transitions. Maybe a flow or a smooth type of movement when we're transitioning and we're holding, just really sensing and feeling through the body. On inhale, I'm going to come up and over. So try to stay present with your transition and with the energy of the stability of the posture. or the energy and stillness, as they sometimes call it. Inhale, we'll come back up to center and then take the hands back behind, shoulders draw together and down, lift the chest, maybe coming back into a back bend, maybe looking all the way behind. And so one way of staying present in the stillness is to really connect with the flow of the breath, just always moving. On inhale, we'll come on back up to center. Now let's interlace the fingers. We'll bring the hands forward and up and over the head. Another way, also besides just the breath, is to connect with those elements, those Ayurvedic elements. What are we sensing in this moment? What would we like a little more of? What would we like a little less of? Without trying to get too analytical about it. It's experiential, it's a feeling, it's a sense. On an exhale now, bring the hands down, change the interlace the fingers, inhale, hands up. You can also continue to work with the expansive breathing that we sometimes do in our meditation, thinking about the sides of the body, the back of the body, maybe the middle part of the lungs. On an exhale, we'll bring the hands down here. Keep your legs as they are. Keep the hips down. I'm going to come on forward. If it feels okay, you can take your hands forward and drop the head down. On an inhale, we'll walk the hands back and come on up. We're going to, actually, let's do this. Let's turn toward the left. Do a little twist here. Exhaling around the spine, drawing the shoulders back. Inhale, come back to center. We're going to swap the feet so the other leg is in front or on top. And then both sit bones down. Exhale, come on forward here. You might extend the arms forward, start to drop the head down. On inhale, come on back up, and then exhale over to the right side and twist here. And on an inhale, we'll release. We're going to draw the legs up. Let's come into a hands and knees position. And if your knees are cranky, you can pad, but don't make too much of a fuss for your knees. We're not going to be here too long, but a little bit of a padding might be okay if you need it. From here, let's inhale into your cow pose. Tailbone up and chest up and lift. And when you exhale, coming into cats. Here you can practice exhaling through your mouth. So really trying to draw in a full inhale on your cow pose. And then maybe exhaling through your mouth, really squeezing, drawing the belly in and up on your cat pose. So you can think about working to expand the capacity of your lungs by pushing a little more, making a deeper breath each time, or more of an exhale, and more of a squeeze on your cat pose. Going back and forth here. And the next time that you come into your cat pose on that exhale, that'll be the last one, and we'll come back to a neutral spine. From here, we're going to kick that right foot back behind. You can keep the toes down if you like, or you can lift and press through your heel, trying to bring your foot in line with the hips, trying to not sink the lower back. And if you want more, take your left hand off the floor and extend. So you're going to press, if your foot is up, you're pressing through your heels, toes toward the floor. Breathing here. Option, if you want more, on your exhale, draw your right knee to your left elbow. So you're going to curl in and touch. And then on your inhale, extend out. And you can also just stay and hold if this is too much. If you're curling in, we'll do 3 and then come back and hold. Good, and then we'll releasing the left hand down and that right knee. And then come to the other side when you're ready, left foot out. You could keep your toes down or lift that leg. If you're lifting, toes are toward the floor. Trying to straighten as much as possible, abdominals in. Right hand off the floor and extended. Breathing here. As an option, if you want, on your exhale, elbow to knee curling in, inhaling and extending. And if you're doing that, we'll do 3 and then come back and hold. So the other option is to just hold the posture, working on not sinking the back. All right, looks like everybody's done. So we'll bring the hand down and the knee down. And now from here, we're going to come into a half plank pose. So if you're on your blanket, you can probably move it aside. You're going to take your hips in line with your knees and your shoulders, half plank pose. So you might walk your hands a little forward and then draw the hips forward. So again, remember, abdominals in, elbows straight here. We're pushing down into the floor. If you want, you could pick your feet up off the floor and bounce on your knees. It's an option. You can also keep your feet down, especially if your knees are cranky, don't do that. On an exhale, we're going to bend those elbows and come down to the floor. If your feet are up here, you can drop them down. Tailbone down, shoulders down the back. Lift up to Cobra pose. I'm going to hold in Cobra pose. So drawing the shoulders away from the ears, chest lifted. Breathing into the upper chest, so right around the collarbone. Exhale, lower back down to the floor. Take the hands now underneath of your forehead. So you can stack one hand on top of the other and drop the head down to lengthen out the back of the neck. Reach through your right leg, making it super long. Reaching through your toes, tailbone down, hip bone down on the right side. See if you can lift your right leg. So I'm going to try and lift and lengthen out the right leg. Just try and see if you can get the thigh off the floor. Abdominal supporting. And then we'll lower the right leg and let it soften. We're going to tone the muscles of the left leg, reaching back to the left toe, super straight leg, tailbone down, hip down. When you're ready, lift the left leg off the floor. See if you can get the thigh off the floor. Abdominal supporting. Soften the face if it's tightened up. And then we'll lower that leg back down to the floor. Now we'll release the hands. We're going to come into Sphinx pose. So we're going to come on up with the elbows under your shoulders and hands shoulder width apart. So here we're drawing the shoulders down, away from the ears, opening the chest, lifting the head, tailbone down. Just noticing where that falls in your back. And now we're going to release your elbows, bring your hands by your shoulders, abdominals in. We're going to push back up to that half plank pose. Pausing here, half plank. And then we're going to take the hips back to the heels for prayer pose. Your choice if you want your knees wide or knees together, hips to heels, and extend. Breathing in your back. And then we'll come on up, walking the hands in. We're going to work our way up to standing. So just coming up however is easiest for you. Clearing off your mat if you've got stuff on it. Coming to stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. Your feet are hip distance apart. connecting down into the feet, active feet, toned leg muscles. And inhale, bring the arms up. Palms together, exhale, crescent pose to the right, extend. So you're going to root into your left foot and extend toward the right. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, crescent pose, other side. So rooting into that right leg, trying to get some extension through the left hand. Inhale, come on back up to standing and release the hands. We're going to step that right foot forward for warrior one. Right foot forward, left foot back. Let's see if I can bring my camera down. Okay, good. Right foot forward, left foot back, squaring the hips, tailbone down, strong in the legs when you're ready. Your turn to rest with one, arms up, warrior one. You might walk your toes forward just another half an inch so you can drop the tailbone down a little more and feel a little more strength here in the legs. So again, connecting with that breath in the body. Nice long breaths, nice controlled breathing. I'm going to keep rooting into your back foot and just leaning forward here, starting to get a little more chest forward and more weight into that front foot. So as you feel that, root into your back foot. Now, if this is too strong for the shoulders, just drop the hands down to the hips, but you could also keep your arms by your ears. And if they are by your ears, try to keep the elbows straight. Try to keep the hands back and those arms by the ears and not forward. On the inhale, I'm going to come back up to the warrior one. We'll slip the hands now to the lower back and let's open the chest into a back bend. Now, if you need to look down for balance, you can, but if your balance feels pretty solid, you could look up or even coming all the way behind and look behind you. On inhale, we'll come on back up out of the back bend. We'll bring the hands together at the heart. Root into your back foot now, lean forward and turn. Revolved side angle pose. You're starting to open the chest toward the right. You may or may not hook that elbow to the outside of the knee. We might just start by twisting and turning in that general direction. If you do hook, try to bring your thumbs back to the center of the chest, draw that top shoulder back, keep the hips low. On an inhale, we'll unwind. One more warrior one, couple breaths here. Good. And release the arms. We'll step the feet together. Whew. So holding those postures, really, really good for the joints, really, really good for building bone density. Let's try the other side when you're ready. So coming into warrior one on the side, left foot forward, right foot back, squaring the hips, tailbone down. You might walk the toes just a little half an inch more so you can feel that drop, so you feel strong in the legs. When you're ready, take the arms up, warrior one. And again, connecting with the breathing. See if we can find the balance between effort in the posture and ease. Where can you soften? And where do you need to tone and work a little more? And then rooting into your back foot. If you can get your back heel down, that's helpful. We're going to come on forward here. So again, the arms could stay by the ears if they will do that, or you can have your hands on your hips. Either way though, with that heavier weight in the front foot, we're going to really push back into your back foot. So you're going to try to balance as much as you can between the 2 feet. On inhale, we'll come back up to the warrior one. And then slip the hands to the lower back here for our back bend. Shoulders back and down, lifting the center of the chest. And again, you might look down, you might look up, you might start to look all the way behind, opening the neck. Drawing the abdominals in, we'll come on back up. One more here. We're going to bring the hands together at the heart, root into that back foot, lean forward, and then open out to the left. Revolve side angle pose. And bring these holding of these muscles, this isometric hold, is really building bone density. It's helping with the connective tissue around the joints. And really trying to stay present. So if it feels strenuous, just trying to keep with the breath, keep the mind calm and focused on what you're doing. If you're hooking that elbow, try to bring the thumbs back to the center of the chest, keep your hips low. On inhale here, we'll unwind. One more warrior one, couple of breaths here. Then we'll release the hands and step the feet together. All right, standing in our Tadasana, let's take the hands to the hips and circle. We're gonna do a little hula hooping, release the back, release the hips. So when you do that, make sure your head isn't moving as much, right? The head kind of stays, it's the hips that rotate. Now pause that direction, hula hoop the other way. And then coming on back to center. Let's take the hands up over the head. Inhale. And on your exhale, lead with the heart. Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Dropping down. So you lift that tailbone up, toning the muscles of the legs, and that's the support over which the head falls. You might be able to, if you can reach your feet, you could bring your hands onto your feet, the tops of your feet, and push down. So you start to really feel grounded in the feet on the floor. If your hands don't reach your feet, that's okay. And then you can release your hands from your feet. Make sure your feet are hip distance and the outside edges are parallel. And then take a deep bend in the knees, abdominals in. Let's come up for chair pose. Arms up if you like. If it's too strong for shoulders, then hands could be on the hips. If you want more, little kid chair pose, bending the knees a little more. Just make sure you don't take the tailbone back. The abdominals draw in and the tailbone is right down, pointing right down between your feet. And then on inhale, press into your feet, come on up and release the arms. All right, we haven't been doing some balancing lately, so let's work on tree pose. So you could use a piece of furniture, or you could just freeform it if you think you can do tree. We're going to try tree on the right side, right foot down, right leg strong. That is your tap root leg. When you're ready, you're going to bring up that left foot, taking the knee out. So whatever version you are, even if your toes are on the floor, you're going to take that knee out to the side without swinging the hips to get there. Right? So opening up that side and then rooting down into your standing leg. Finding your challenge place in tree today. Using that Vata breath energy, air ether energy, to drop out of the mind into what you're doing. Recognizing when there's too much mental activity or if there's anxiety or emotion that arises, and trying to stay present. It's where you are right now. Good. There's a nice long tree on that side. So we'll come on out with control. Good, good. All right, we're gonna work our way to the other side. Just noticing, just whatever did or did not happen that first side, let it go. Just letting it go. New side, new experience. When you're ready, left foot, left leg, taproot leg. Really feeling solid with connecting with the earth, with that kapha energy. Right knee comes out to the side wherever you are here. And finding your tree pose on the side. It's recognizing the habits of the mind. Where's the brain go? What are the effects of moving into tree, of holding tree? And part of that, utilizing the breath energy is, especially with the Vata energy, is to not constrict it. You can imagine if you've got a wind that's blowing through, the tighter the tunnel, the more fierce it gets. So if we're trying to calm the energy, and try to not hold the breath or constrain the breath. Instead, open the air passages, opening the space so that that energy can flow without creating that tension. Another place to check in with is the face, making sure we're not gripping the jaw. We're trying to hold our tree with muscles that really aren't helping. All right, another nice long hold on tree pose. So we'll come on out with control. Good work. So sometimes part of that practice is just to remind ourselves where we are in our balancing practice. Let's come on down onto the floor. I think, let's see, let's work with I like to do a back bend. Let's try this. We're gonna, if you can, that's not gonna work for Nancy's knees. All right, let's do this one instead. We're going to come into reclined Baddha Konasana. So reclined Baddha Konasana. And if you have a bolster, and if you happen to have one available, that's really awesome to use. If you don't, I'll show you an option without. If you do happen to have a bolster or a pillow, you're going to sit in front of the bolster and then try to lean back over it. If you don't have one, then we'll work with the hands. So if you don't have one, you're going to take the soles of the feet together. I'm just going to walk your hands back. But what I'd like you to do here is tip your tailbone down toward the floor and open the chest up. So we're going for a little bit of a back bend here if you don't have a bolster. If you do have a bolster and it's comfortable to lay back over it, you're going to get the same back bend kind of effect. If you have your hands down, though, you really have to work to not let the chest collapse, right? The chest can fall in, shoulders start to draw up toward the ears, and the neck starts to get tight. Instead, we want to open. So we want to lift the center of the chest, drawing the shoulder blades down. Yeah, good. Jill, if you've got that, that's great. Yeah, blanket is fine. And if you're doing the bolster, make sure that tailbone is down. So we're still getting a back bend kind of here. Yeah, tailbone down, opening the chest. Yeah, I can see that we don't really have all the props. So let's come on up. So I'm just going to come up out of here. I'm going to try this a little bit differently. So come on out of that. Let's extend the legs long. Let's do this one this way. So we're going to sit in staff pose. Shoulders back, toes up. Fingertips towards your feet. I'm going to slide your fingers back. So elbows straight. Slide the fingers back on behind you, but you still can touch the floor. And then from here, roll on down till your palms come down to the floor. And now keep drawing the inside edges of your arms back and feel the chest really opening. Hopefully you can feel that. And then unfortunately, you see this on the back of pickup trucks all the time. If you know the pictures of the little girls on the mud flaps of the trucks, that's kind of the posture we're going for. So open the chest and bring your tailbone back behind. So lengthening out the legs. And then if it feels okay, let your head drop back. So really going for a back bend here. So it's like your tailbone and your hands are starting isometrically drawing toward each other. And now from here, I'm going to draw those abdominals in. We're going to come on back up and reverse. So I'm going to come down to a seated forward bend. So now the tailbone goes back behind, still lengthening out the legs. And if it feels okay, you can reach down, grab your feet. Starting to bring your chest a little more toward the legs. Inhale, we'll come one up. Now we'll come down onto the back. So you can bend your knees and come all the way down. Making sure that the neck is okay. So if you have like a hair tie or something going on out of the way. And then once you're down on your back, you can draw your knees in toward the chest. And we're going to grab a hold of your knees or your shins and start to take them wide. So you're starting to bring your knees more towards your shoulders. And kind of, as you do that, you can kind of feel out the hips. You might have to adjust one or the other, seeing if you can get those knees a little closer towards your shoulders. And then from here, you're going to slip your hands down to your ankles if you can reach them. Shins can work too. And then start to bring the soles of the feet together and take the knees out wider, coming to this version of reclined Baddha Konasana. So really opening the knees out and pulling on your ankles to draw your feet in closer. Try to keep the back of the body lengthened. So if you're curling, if you're rounding, try and flatten that down on the floor. And then we'll release the feet and bring them back down onto the floor. You spent feet on the floor. I'm going to push into your feet, but we're going to, actually, before you do that, let's take your hands up toward the ceiling so you can see them. We're going to bring your first fingers and your thumbs together in a diamond shape. So I'm going to make a diamond shape with your palms toward the ceiling so you can see what you're doing. So first fingers together, thumbs together. You see there's a diamond shape between your hands. This is what we're going to put on the floor. So now you can release your hands down to by your hips. Push into your feet, lift the hips up just enough to slide your hands underneath and bring those fingers, first fingers together, thumbs together, and then set your hips back down. I'm going to try to bring your tailbone about in the center of your diamond shape, sitting on your hands. Now, hopefully it's not too painful. Not going for painful here, but we do want that tailbone somewhat in the middle of the diamond. And then push into your elbows and see if you can draw your shoulder blades a little more together, flat on the floor. So you try and bring your shoulders down toward the floor. And now from here, you're going to pick your feet up off the floor and kick them up toward the ceiling. So your shoulders can draw down as toward the floor here, giving you a solid, firm grounding. You can also push into your arms and your hands. Draw your abdominals in, so you should feel nice and solid in your core. Press through your heels and lengthen out the legs, and the inside edges of the legs come together if possible. So you're going to squeeze your legs together and push up through your heels, pulling those abdominals in. And maintaining all that, we're going to try and lower your heels just a little bit, maybe at about a 45-degree angle with the floor, if we can go that far. Breathing here, pressing through your heels, keeping the legs straight as needed. We're pushing down into your shoulders, into the hands. If you can go a little lower, you could do that, pulling those abdominals in. A couple breaths here. I know this is strenuous, trying to breathe. And then slowly, you're going to lift the feet back up toward the ceiling, press through your heels. And then bend your knees and bring the feet back down to the floor. Once they touch the floor, you can push into your feet and release your hands. Nice work. Let's extend the right leg long on the floor. Left foot comes to the right thigh for our twist. Right hand on the left knee. Roll all the way to the right side, dropping that knee down toward the floor. And open the chest toward the ceiling, left shoulder down. Just really trying to absorb this twist. Let the body soften. On inhale, we'll roll on back to center. And then we'll switch sides, extending that left leg long. Right foot on the left thigh, left hand on the right knee, and rotating, dropping that knee, perhaps all the way to the floor, opening the chest, dropping the right shoulder down. On inhale, unwind, and then you can work your way into a Shavasana. When you found your position, just allowing the whole body to soften, really absorbing the effects of your practice. Beginning to deepen the breath. And allow some movement to return to the body. And as you're ready, working your way up to a seated position. Hands together at the heart. Just recognizing what our bodies do for us, all the effort that they put forth for our minds to support our brain and all the various activities that we do. So maybe offering a bit of gratitude to the body and recognizing that this yoga practice we do is both for the body and the body giving back to us. It's a nice little exchange. Thank you all for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.